This lesson is lesson 48, and this is measures of central tendency for different ways of looking at data sets. So a couple of things that we're going to talk about with this would be the mean and the median and the mode. These should be reviewed for you, but just to kind of go over some of those terminologies. First of all, another way of saying our mean is our average. Our average would be the number, the total number that I have added up divided by how many there were. Our median is the number in the middle. There's a little piece there we'll cover in a moment, but the number in the middle will be the number that is numerically in the middle, not the average. If I do have two numbers in the middle, so an even number of data points, I do have to average the middle two. And the last is my mode, and this is the value that is most often repeated. So let's look at this example. This is example 1 in your book, and I've got a number set of 35, 36, 33, 38, 36, 34, 35, 35, and 33. Now, to find the very first thing I said is find the mean, median, and mode of these. Well, so we're going to start with our mean. Our mean is our average. If I take every one of these numbers and I simply add them up, I get 315. I have 9 value sets, and so I divide by 9, and I get my average. It's that simple. Average should be something we've done up to this point many times. Our median, on the other hand, is going to be the number in the middle. In order to get a number in the middle, I need to put them in numerical order. So I put them 33, 34, 34, 35, 35, 35, 36, 36, and 38. If I look at them, I've got 9 numbers, so the number in the middle will be the 5th number in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number in the middle is going to be 35. Now, if I would have had 10 values here, and this is not in this example, but I'm going to show this to you so you know, there will be homework with this type. If there were 10 values, I would take the middle 2 and average them. Now this one didn't work out that way. There was an odd number set, so the one in the middle is exactly in the middle. But it's hard to be in the middle of 4 people. That would be a 5th person. But if you had 4 people and say stand in the middle, you've got 2 middle numbers. So you would have to average those 2 middle numbers. So the median is the middle number unless I have an even set of numbers, and then it's the average of the middle 2 numbers. The next is the mode. Mode is the number that's most often used. Now in this number set there is a mode. However, not every set of numbers have a mode. A mode is the one that's most often used. So if you had a number set that had no repetition to it, every number was unique, you would have no mode. If you had one that every number is represented twice, once again, there's no mode. The mode can't be determined. This one here, though, does have a mode. If I look at it and say, well, 33 is the smallest number, it is represented twice in this list. The number 34 is only represented once, so I'm doing like a frequency distribution here. The number 35 is represented 3 times. The number 36 is only represented twice. And the number 38 is represented once. Which one is most often? And that would be 3. Another issue we may run into is if I have 2 modes, and that can happen. If I would have had another 36 in here, I would have had 3 36s and 3 35s, and that would have given me 2 separate modes of both 35 and 36. The next thing I'm going to cover here is the range. Range is really easy to remember. It is the highest number minus the smallest number, and it's how far it goes. So this example didn't ask for a range, but if I did want to find the range, I would, on this example here, I would say 38 minus 33, which is a value of 5. And this data set has a range of 5. Now, the next thing is outlier. And this is the last little section of this. And this is a data point that would be far away from everything else. It skews my answer one way or the other. If I was doing test scores and I said, oh, we have 93, 92, 95, 93, 92, and then we have that one person with a 60. Well, that would be an outlier. It's too far away to show the data. Here I have shown data set here of 3, 4, 4, 2, 20, and 5. And if I looked at these numbers and I said, well, are any of these outliers? Well, I went ahead and drew a number line here and just went ahead and put an X over each value. I've got 1, 2, and 1, 3, and 2 4s, and 1 5, and then 1 20. And it's pretty easy to see on this one that 20 is an outlier. The book will ask you questions like this. How does the outlier affect this measurement of central tendency? Well, how is it going to affect it? I think it's pretty obvious if I look at this and say, how does 20 affect the average of these numbers? Well, it's going to pull it up. Well, by how much? Well, I would just average these numbers without the 20 and average numbers with the 20 and look at the difference. That would be how much does it affect it. Now, a little bit later, we'll get into exactly how to determine if an outlier is an outlier, because if I had a number like 8, is 8 an outlier? Well, not really, but what about 9? And at what point do you start counting in an outlier? At this point of the book, they're not going to make you tell when they're really close. They're either an outlier like 20 or negative 400 would be another outlier for this. Or they're going to tell you it's 6 or 7 and 1, and those are definitely not outliers on this one. So those are measures of central tendency for lesson 48. Make sure that you're rereading any of the example questions if you have any problems or questions about it. But for the most part, this is a review lesson.